is that there are those that have used religion, as in slavery or as even today, to oppress people and use religion to be unfair to people or have misinterpreted scriptures. You would get no debate from me. I think that is a fact of history and one that many of us have had to fight against. That still does not disqualify God any more than using anything in nature that is wrong. To say that one eats food that is poisoned does not mean one should therefore starve, because food is inherently bad. That, I think you're confusing the misuse of religion with the existence of God. There are those that have no religious affiliations at all that believe in God. There are people that don't deal with organized church at all that still believe in God. So when you say God is not great, let's not then debate organized religion is not great, or some that have exploited organized religion is not great. You, in the title of your book, and I've had a chance to go through your book, attack God, not those that express that they are therefore standing in God's place or representing God. And in your whole oratory about weapons of mass destruction, and he thought he had it and all of that, when we found him, he was in a rat trap with a .22 pistol. He knew he didn't have any weapons of mass destruction, because no one, as one that comes out of the hood, no one that has atom bombs would just retreat with a .22 and wait on the cavalry.
Any order you like.
I think I better stick to the reverse order. No, well, that's why a very good time to attack him was before he could get back what he'd lost by way of WMD. He didn't have any then, and he wasn't going to get them back either, any more than he was going to improve his relations with Al-Qaeda. They were as good as they were ever going to get, and that was fine by me. Maybe an argument for another time, but believe me, I'm not reluctant to have it. Then we're of one mind, essentially. I mean, after all, I did not deny what's common knowledge, that Dr. Martin Luther King was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and was indeed at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Thomas. No, I said I cannot say to you that I know that he was a believing Christian. No, I cannot. I mean, neither can you say that to me any more than we seem to be of one mind on this too. Neither of us can prove or disprove the existence of God. The difference is between us that I don't say that I'm an ordained minister, because I don't think I could push it that far. Since you're evidently an agnostic, which is a confession that I'm very welcome to have not extracted from you, but heard you make. Now, here's the question. You say these texts are misused. I say that they are not. The Old Testament says, or does not say, that Abraham was doing a noble thing by offering to sacrifice a son to prove himself loyal to God or to the voices he was hearing in his head. It says there was a noble thing for him to do. He was rewarded for it by a great posterity and a great long life. Offering to murder his son because of hearing voices in his head. This is not moral teaching to me. Is it not the case that the Old Testament says that the Amalekites must all be destroyed down to the last child, every one among them, leave not one? Yes, it does say that. The Bishop of Llandaff, in an argument with Thomas Paine, once said, well, when it says keep the women, as Paine had pointed out, he said, I'm sure God didn't mean just to keep them for immoral purposes. Well, what does the Bishop of Llandaff know about that? It says, kill all the men, kill all the children, and keep the virgins. I think I know what they had in mind. I don't think it's moral teaching. To this day, there are nutbag settlers, some Israeli citizens, some of them Americans, some of them Israeli Americans, trying to settle the West Bank in the name of this prophecy and throw other people off their land and establish a theocracy that will bring on the Messiah, and they hope Armageddon and the end of the world. Well, I think the United States Supreme Court should hear argument that not one American dime can be used constitutionally for that project. Okay, it's high time. Cut it off. These people mean us real harm, and I'm not going to dilate about what their Muslim brothers say about us. When the Quran does not say that you may be killed for changing your religion, but the Hadith, the so-called sayings of the Prophet, which are taken just as seriously, do say that. So when someone says, I'm a Muslim, and I'm telling you, Mr. Rushdie, if you apostatize from this faith, you're dead, He's not misquoting the texts, sir. He's not. He's quoting them accurately. I think, I'll phrase it as understatedly as I can, I think we could do without a lot of this.
Christopher.
But let me respond.
I think enough already would cover a lot of this
Again,
stuff.
you are debating points I didn't make. I said you keep confusing the existence of God, again, with religious denominational beliefs. I'm not debating whether...
Are they separable?
Yes.
Well, fine.
Yeah, very much so. I think that you're quoting the Bible. If you said everything in the Bible you rejected, you still have not established why a belief in God, maybe a belief in God through that vehicle may be your debate. But you're not addressing God. You're talking Quran, Bibles, people's interpretation of God. That is not my debate. My debate with your book is that you're saying, therefore, since they did this to, since Abraham was going to murder his son, there is no God. That's like 1 + 2 = 7. I mean, we're not, so Abraham may have been incorrect, if that's your point. Or what they did with the Amalekite, or what's going on in the Middle East. What does that have to do with the existence of a universe that is set on an order that I believe was set by a supreme being that continues to evolve today, that I think science has done a credible job in analyzing? Now, you can debate which one of the Bibles, Qurans, religious books may have had it right or interpreted it right, but that does not address the central question. You, sir, did not attack the Christian church or the Muslim religion or the Pope. You attacked God. And to attack God is a whole lot. You hit here and you debate here. Let's talk about God. Let's not talk about those that came in his name, and you have some maybe credible arguments against whether or not you felt that they were correct or incorrect. And again, I raised, as I did my opening statement, who decides what is wicked, what is right, what is ethical? If there's nothing there that governs humanity, whatever's ethical is whatever we decide is ethical, because we're in charge. It's all up to us.
Okay, once again, in reverse order, if I may. Religion gets its morality from us. I think it's very easy to demonstrate that. I'll do it from one of each of the two testaments.
You're back on testaments.
Well,
Why don't you write a book? Testaments are not
I
great.
spend a lot of time with my Bible. Okay, my Bible. I do.
I told you you had
or
a
the
bad
Babel,
Sunday
as they
school
call
teacher.
it in Dixie. I do. In the there's a very famous parable in the New Testament where the alleged Jesus of Nazareth tells a story about a man from Samaria. We call him the Good Samaritan, who, finding a fellow creature in enormous distress and pain, goes well out of his way to alleviate his suffering and to follow up to make sure that his sympathy hasn't been a waste of time, to do the aftercare, if you like. Well, we know one thing about this person from Samaria. He cannot have been a Christian. Right? Jesus is telling this story about someone he's heard of, who acted, as far as we know, from no other prompting with elementary human solidarity. What other prompting do we need? Our species would not have survived. We wouldn't be met here if we didn't have, as well as many selfish instincts, the need, and often for our own sake, to be of use to others, to combine with them, to take an interest in them, to care for them, and to worry when they're in pain. No supernatural authority, as with the civil rights movement, is required for this. Morality comes from us. Religion claims to have invented it on our behalf. Then, okay, another example from the Older Testament. Is it really to be believed that until they got to the foot of Mount Sinai, the followers of Moses believed that up till then, adultery, murder, theft, and perjury were okay? They're suddenly told, oh, hey, we got some new ideas for you. I don't think so. It's a bit of an insult to the ancient Jewish faith, of which Jacob and I are both rather disgraceful ornaments in our different ways. I think our ancestors were smarter than that, and even if they weren't smarter, they wouldn't have got that far if they'd been under the contrary impression. The golden rule is something you don't have to teach a child. There's no need to say, and if you don't follow this rule, you'll burn in hell forever. That's immoral teaching. Now, I hope I've made myself clear on the, but I'm wondering if I have, because you face me, Reverend, with two very unwelcome thoughts. Either I have been completely inarticulate in everything I've said this evening, or you have misunderstood me. I have to throw myself, or these are not mutually exclusive, and I should have seen that coming. I thought I said it's common ground. We cannot know that there was a creator, whether of ourselves or of our cosmos. If you may wish to assume one, but that's the best you can do. The evidence is all that the cosmos evolved, and the evidence that there was a single mind, purposeful creator of it is nil. There's no evidence for that at all. By all means, believe it, as long as you don't try and make me believe it or teach it to my children.
Well, let me say, I
have to insist, because that's not a difference of opinion.
I will meet you on common ground there, but I would say that many people, I among them, in our own lives, have had experiences that make me believe that there is a God, and make me believe that my seeking God and seeking the guidance of a supreme being is real to me. I'm not going by Moses. I'm not going by Peter. I'm not going by the man that you said was allegedly Jesus of Nazareth. I'm talking about in people's personal experiences with their interaction through their own faith with God, can say that you or no one else can tell me that did not exist. If I was only sitting up here arguing with you over scriptures, then you would have points that I would consider valid to this discussion. But I'm not here to defend scriptures. I didn't write those scriptures. I lived my life. And in my life, the existence of God has been confirmed to me in my own personal dealings, and my own faith being vindicated and validated, that had absolutely nothing to do with scriptures, whether they were right or wrong. And again, I pose the question, when you raise the issue of morality, if there is no supervisory being, then what do we base morality on? Is it based on who has the might at any given time? Who's in power? What is morality based on? If there is no order to the universe, and therefore some being, some force that ordered it, then who determines what is right and wrong, what is moral and immoral? You use very religious terms interchangeably while you attack the idea of a God. There is nothing immoral if there's nothing in charge, because everything becomes moral if in fact the species as we are is all there is. We'll determine, let's decide every 4 years what's moral. Most Republicans do, but I mean, let's do it in the sense of, let's just say, forget all of that. We'll decide morality based on every period of time, because there is nothing up there governing it anyway. And you don't have to burn in hell to understand that life has certain guiding posts that has been set there well beyond your own being. And I think that the whole world was waiting on one's birth, your birth or mine, or death to set the framework of morality, I think that is very arrogant. It's also delusional, but it is very arrogant at best.
Again, in reverse order.
Don't look for help from the referee. I'm over here.
I incline in your direction, sir. Said it before. Very suggestive thing that you just said. If there was no one in charge